This is the Cats and Pudding Podcast. A melting pot of pudding. And now, here's Jen.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Cats and Pudding. And today, I have a great episode for you. And I have this wonderful guest. She is in the entertainment industry. She is a PR rep, and her name is Sasha. It's Prendes.
Yeah, Sasha
Prendes.
Prendes.
I said it right. I'm usually screw up everybody's name.
Sasha
Everybody's
Prendes.
name. I butcher it like I always do. It's so funny. So I'm excited to have you here because you lead a really interesting life. You are a PR person, and
I'm actually an artist.
And you're an artist too.
I'm an artist, and I dabble in PR,
Well,
in
so
self-management, and we can get into all of that for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So let's get it. So tell me about you. Tell me about your journey into both worlds.
So I think when you are an artist, you have to take on a bunch of different jobs. Like, it's our role to be able to manage ourselves and do our own press and garner attention, get as many followers as you can. You have to do everything yourself. You have to build your business from the ground up as an artist. And it's incredibly expensive and incredibly difficult. But I've been doing this now professionally for the last 10 years. And I feel like I'm now getting a good grip on all of the roles. And then it's like Undercover Boss. Have you seen that show? You know, where he or she goes and does all the roles of their company from the ground up and sees how it is the way it is. And then I feel like once you've achieved that and you've learned so much, you can then outsource the work.
That's like with any business. You have many hats that you have to wear. I own my own business. Everybody thinks because I own my own business, I work less than everybody else. I work triply more than everybody else because my day doesn't end when I shut the door. It's on continual loop. So I'm constantly thinking, and I work almost 7 days a week.
Yep.
So it's very time consuming.
Incredibly.
Yes.
For sure. So right now on the horizon, I have some new music coming out that I'm going to be collaborating with various artists from all over the world. So I have an African artist. We're doing a very cool remix to one of my songs that'll be released beginning of June is
That's
what we are
amazing.
predicting. So I'm extremely grateful and excited about that. And working on new mixes, EDM, house, some Spanish records as well.
I love that.
So
What kind of like salsa music? Like what kind of music you could dance to? Is it
definitely dance inspired.
Okay.
A lot of it's dance inspired. I think for me, I'm such a romantic. I love romantic sounds, sweet picking of the guitar and certain minor chords and all these beautiful things that make music make you go all that just stuff. But people want to dance.
Are you
and
a
people want to have
romantic?
fun. Yes. Oh,
Okay,
yes.
I could tell that.
Very much a romantic.
But you also like to have fun, though.
And I love to have a good time.
Me too.
I'm here for a
I'm
good
with
time,
you,
not a
sister.
long time.
Oh my God, I say that all the time.
All the time. It's so
I'm not
true.
here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Yeah.
Yep. And any day
Exactly.
above ground's a good day, I always say.
Facts.
Right?
I agree.
Right? Good
I
stuff.
agree fully.
You're an old soul.
Thanks.
You are.
I've been told that before.
You are. Yeah. Because you had a grandmother in your life a lot, right? That's
I
why.
did. Both of them.
Yep. That's why.
Both of them.
They had an impact.
My parents had me very young.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was 22. I think my dad was about 24 or
That's like me.
25.
Same thing happened with me in my first.
I cannot imagine being 22 with a child.
I couldn't imagine that I did it. It was but I had my grandparents help me, and they were a big influence on my life. So they were very important. So you seem like you have that influence on you.
They're the reason I speak Spanish. 100%.
That's amazing.
That critical age period, right, from 0 to 5 is when you can learn a second
Yes,
language.
that's
And
true.
Spanish was technically my first language. And then after I turned 5, we moved to Kansas.
Wait, you moved to Kansas?
Yeah, I know. It's so random. Then we moved to Kansas. And then my Spanish
Where were
wasn't
you
as
living
good
first?
anymore, you know?
Were you living in Cuba first?
So my parents are from Cuba, grandparents from Cuba. And then I was born in Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Okay.
I'm a Jersey girl at heart.
You
know?
You're a Jersey girl.
Yeah, Eastwick. somebody cool told me that meant Elizabeth, New Jersey, and I was like, I'm just gonna say that the next time I'm in an interview talking
I'm
about
gonna
Elizabeth.
always say that Brooklyn and borough girls are the best. So, but
sure.
Jersey girls are all right. I have a few Jersey
We're
girls
all
that
right.
are my friends, so we're good.
But us Midwest girls go hard.
I
That's
like the
for
Midwest
sure.
girls. They're
Midwest
fun.
girls go hard. I lived there for 18 years, and and had a beautiful childhood. Genuine, like just fun, open road, barefoot, didn't have to lock your doors. It was a different time. Just like when you had kids, it was a different time.
Oh,
you
we
know?
still had to lock our doors when I had my kids.
Yeah, I
lived through the
Brooklyn's a little
70s.
different.
No, I lived through the 70s. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Like, we had the Son of Sam out there. Like, we couldn't even go outside. Like, we had to worry that we were going to get shot in a car.
Wow.
Like, it was pretty bad. We had a serial killer loose at that point. No, it was like that. But I have to say, that time was really guttural New York. That was New York at that time. Whenever I think back at for like just the whole era. But it was, yeah. What we didn't get to, well, I live in a good neighborhood, so I didn't have to worry about it though. But
it's still terrifying.
No,
And
it's terrible. Yeah.
regardless of where you live, like you could be affected by crime and violence, and it happens. Kansas City is pretty rough for crime and violence. And I lived, thankfully, in a very like
rural
nice,
area,
suburbia. You know, the houses were all kind of right next to each other in rows.
How was
and
it moving
cul-de-sacs.
to that?
And
Well,
I remember being 5 and getting off the plane and looking around, and it was just nothingness, you know, outside of the airport, nothingness, whereas like you get out at Newark and it's just madness.
Yeah.
And me being like, where the hell are we? I'm like 5.
You felt like you just landed on another planet.
Yeah,
right?
it's what it felt like. They're like, what do you like more, Kansas or New Jersey? And I'm like, New Jersey.
New Jersey
Like,
is
what
more-
is this? But it was cool because, you know, little things that I remember having to like load up the car with the bikes to go to the park when we were living in Jersey. Because I have a very good memory. I remember like back when I was a little peanut toddler. I remember photo shoots when a woman came to the house, put the backdrop up. I'm sitting there with like a flounder, you know, from Little Mermaid. I'm 2 years old. Like I remember these things. I have a actually pretty solid memory of like my early years in New Jersey and being able to just go outside.
I don't
and ride
remember
your
what
bike.
I did yesterday.
Yeah, I smoke a lot of weed too, so my memory is pretty crazy. But
Are
I
you
think
sure though it's the true memories, or is it something you're hallucinating?
It's long-term memories. I'm great. Short-term, don't ask me about yesterday. I have to ponder and really think about that one. But wide open spaces, super cool. Christian people, nice people, very friendly. Nobody honks at you.
Well, you're probably from Catholic background because you're Cuban.
Yes.
Most people from South America and areas where you're from are Spanish. I mean, Spanish, Italian, our genre are usually Catholic.
For
background.
sure.
Right.
So I went to a Catholic school when I was in Elizabeth. I was at a Catholic school when I was a little peanut. Wore a uniform, not as cute as this one.
This one's
but
cute.
Not as cute as this
We
one.
weren't
but
allowed to wear that because they would have the ruler, and if your skirt was up to here, they'd send you to detention.
Right? I mean, technically, when
Yeah.
I stand, it goes down.
You would be in detention for a month with that
Yeah,
skirt.
and my hoop earrings. I'm like, just let me be. Just let me express myself.
That's
Just need
all
to
right.
be
That's
myself.
with the hoop earrings are mob wifey though. We like that.
You know, I always picture myself as a mob wife. That was like my show too. The reality show for me. That was for me. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
I've heard nothing but good things about them, and they're loyal, and you know that's something that I did see a lot in the Midwest too. So a lot of relationships, a lot of marriages, a lot of families that were together.
There's family unity. So
A lot of family unity, and I think that Christianity, because over there it was more Christian. We went to a non-denominational church, and it was very much just about like your relationship with God, like just you and God.
Yes.
You didn't have to
pray to something. We
you
have
didn't
a
have
lot
to-
of props.
you didn't have to go
Catholics have a lot
somewhere.
of props. We have a lot.
Facts.
We have the rosary beads. We have the statues. We have this. We have the cross. These are the things. When you go to a church like that, it's just the cross, pews, and you, and that's it.
And
We're the show.
yeah, you know there's a show.
We're the show. We're the ones. I know us, the Italians. It's just, we throw ourselves on the coffin when somebody's dying.
Oh, right.
Oh my God!
It's
Oh my
intense.
God! The black, the guilt, everything. So
It's crazy
yeah.
town. And I will say that definitely helped me throughout my life. I think that the beautiful thing about like religion is it's just we all have different religions and different beliefs and traditions and whatnot. But I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to us and God.
Yes.
And we're all talking to the same
That's,
guy.
That's beautiful that you say that because your generation, the Gen Z
Us
or
millennials.
you millennials and Gen Zers, it's just different. You know, I mean, anything that holds the fabric of society is a family. That's the fabric, and then the next is God and belief in something. It's very important to believe in something.
Yeah.
You know, not saying that just because someone per se doesn't believe in God, but it is a nice way to live. It is a nice way to have those values because those values are good values.
100%.
You know?
And to kind of piggyback off of that, I think that my generation and women, you know, in my age bracket all kind of feel similar. You know, for the longest time we were told, get a job and get a career and don't have a family and don't have kids. And mind you, it's nearly impossible to do that right now financially.
First of all,
especially at 22.
It's
oh my
very
God.
difficult. Like,
couldn't imagine.
A woman has to go to school, get a job, find a mate, get married in a shorter period of time. Then it puts you all this pressure on you. And, you know, and these new feminists, like, I feel they don't want you to have children. They just want you to go to work. You know, it's okay for a woman to be a mother. If you that was the hardest job in the world. I stayed home for I didn't get a full-time job until I was in my 30s. It was harder to be home as being a mother than going out to work. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
And that's okay to want to be home and stay with your kids. That shouldn't be something that, oh my God, how dare you, and to want to do that. And this is what I feel like these new feminists don't want these girls to do, your generation, because it's like you need that. What are you going to have after that if you only have your career?
Exactly.
What's left?
And so here's kind of how I feel about that, right? Like my dating life is very interesting, and we'll have fun, and we'll talk about that in a moment.
Good.
But I think for me, the focus was so much on, like, if you get pregnant, your life is derailed. Your life is over. And my parents were not wrong for saying that. My friends' parents were not wrong for saying that. Like, at the time and place, it was not the right move.
No,
you know,
of course.
And then on top of that, as society continues to crumble, the quality of women, the quality of men, then everyone starts to lose hope and is like, oh, there's no good men out there. Oh, there's no good women out there. There are a ton of great women.
There are.
There are a ton of great men.
There's a ton of great men. Women. Yes,
I have been hurt
That's true.
by men my whole life. I have been abused. I have been hit. I have been screwed over, ripped off. I have been kidnapped. I have been drugged at clubs and different events. I mean, God loves me, and God has protected me in so many ways where, like, I should not be alive or here. You know, there's just things happen to girls, especially when you put yourself out there and you're an artist and you're singing, or you're going to a club and you want to make friends, and you
and you want to believe that there's good in people
and
they're not going to be like this. But you know, for the most part, there are very good people in this world, but there are some motherfuckers in this world.
100%. Some terrible bad actors.
Terrible bad
But
people.
to say that, like, the one producer that screwed you over, or like the dude that drugged you, is a representation of all men
everybody
is completely
it's
false,
not.
because
it's not.
At the same time, there were men that helped me.
So you're not a man hater.
Oh my
Even
God,
after
I'm a man lover. I am a
me
man
too.
lover.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Do you want your door open for you? Do you still think that?
Damn right. I want my door open for me.
Thank you. Give me power.
Damn
and you're
right.
And listen, I am a powerful woman. You're a powerful woman. I still want them to open the door, because you know what? That's putting me on a pedestal. I should have.
I hate opening the door.
Me too. Why do I want to
It's
be a
so
man?
heavy most of the time.
Why do I open the door for you? Like, that's what they want you to do, these new feminists. They're like, we should open the door for them now because we're men? No.
We should buy them drinks and dinner too, right?
No, I'm not going Dutch. Listen, I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian. No man ever let us pay for a drink when I was a kid. Never. Like, that was the way we were. The guys that I was around my whole life, never happened. And you know what? Those were men. And that was the men we liked. And I'm a powerful woman. I still want that. I still want to be treated that way. I want to be put on a pedestal, and that's what women should be put on a pedestal. It's not a bad thing to have that, for men to do that to you.
And it's interesting because I've read a couple of things that have said, oh, well, girls want a guy at 25 to be as successful as their dad at 56 and provide for them in such a way. Social media
is causing that.
Fucked everyone up and made everyone think that you're going to be happy if you walk into a house full of 10,000 roses. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind that. Mm-hmm. But it's not all about that.
No, it's not all about that.
And extreme wealth doesn't bring you happiness. No. And a lot of times when you're with a very busy man, he is not always going to be available for you. Nope. He's working. He can hit you up maybe once a day.
No, that's true.
And you have to be
okay with that.
And then if you have kids too, I mean,
you're going to be raising them on your own by yourself.
And who wants to do that? Mind you, I personally believe that if and when I have kids, one, it has to be with the right person. Like, I need a real partner. I need some stability, and I don't want to work. I genuinely don't want to work.
I love that. I think that's beautiful.
I've been a nanny for years. That was what I did before, and in the
you know how
interim
important
of
it
music.
is to be home.
And I've been in many, many homes, and I've been a live-in, I've been on call, and I see these moms, and I talk to them, and they're like, yeah, I get I get a few months off of, leave now that I'm going to have my baby and stuff like that. I just feel so bad for them. And like in Europe too, they give dads time off, which is really important. But like you said, the destruction of the nuclear family, the destruction of, working is more important. It's all done by design as well.
It is.
To then make it so that it's so expensive to buy food that you can't
that you have
afford
to have,
it, or you have to buy shitty
so
food.
2 people
for
have
your
to work
pork
for you
peanuts.
to have, yes.
2 people have to work.
Yep.
Mom, it sucks. And so for me, I want to be able to like go all in like my mom did. My mom cut the sandwiches and the shapes.
My mom too. My mom,
all the neighborhood kids would come over.
Yep.
Everyone, we
My
were
mom
poor.
too.
Toast and butter for everyone.
And you were happy though.
And we were happy. And she killed it. And I will always remember like coming home to like a clean house, or if it wasn't clean, I would take the Swiffer and I would clean up, because she would be like, I want you to get used to this.
Yes.
This is your quality of life.
Yep.
You clean up after yourself.
Your home is your quality of life.
Oh yeah,
and you gotta keep it
no
clean.
towels on the bed, no wet towels on the floor.
Oh,
which
no,
is like
that's
still
taboo.
a thing for me. If a man leaves a wet towel on the bed, I'm like,
no,
honey,
no.
we need to have a talk.
No.
It's fucking
No,
gross.
that drives me crazy.
I
don't like, and when they pee on the seat, I can't stand that. That drives me nuts.
Or leave the seat up and then you fall into it in the middle of the night.
Right.
Because we gotta pee. We got bladders like a goldfish. It's ridiculous. So little things like that I've learned along the way. So I believe that my journey has been to go through a bunch of shit, experience life through many, many different lenses and perspectives, to then kind of come back now, and I'm 31 and I'm like, okay, I am really solid about what I want, how I want it, and I know that God's going to bless me with that. And being able to spread that message of saying you can do it. There are good people out there. You can find a partner. You can be a singer. You can have a business. You can do it.
You can have it all.
And you can be a mom.
You know what? You can't look, you know what you can have if you want that? You can't be a workaholic and be like Elon Musk and work 110 hours a week. And let's be honest, ladies, do you really want to? Is that what you want to do? I know I don't. I have a business that I have to work a lot, and I do take a lot of time away from my family to do it. But I did raise my kids to a certain age and went back to work. And I try to make it that I don't miss all that time with them. You know, I still try to give my time with them and take weeks off and make sure that I am with them, because it is important. It is. I don't want to be that person that I'm just married to my career. It's not a happy life.
It's funny. I went to a psychic
and
once.
It's very profound that you said that. I love that.
Thanks.
Because it gives me hope for your generation.
Thank you.
Because that's a beautiful thing to say.
I think we're seeing the light, and
I think you are too. I feel like you are, because let me tell you, it's all by design. You know that the government wants everybody to depend on them.
I mean, we could go on about that. And I'm Cuban, and so my family, we are very anti, oppressive government. Yes. We know what that's like. We know that.
And that's what they're doing to us right now under wraps. But now they can't even hide it anymore.
No, they can't. They're not really trying to.
No, they want to make this country socialist, and you guys know it.
We know it.
And that's why I'm going to say that's why a lot of you voted for Trump, because you saw what was going on with this side.
So one of my favorite people who I watch often, controversial to some, but if you actually watch his message, I think you would see the part of him that's funny and humorous and extravagant, and then you get the core message. And his name is Andrew Tate. Yes. I love the Tate brothers. I think they're fucking hilarious.
They are.
And they make jokes about women that women can't park, and I laugh my ass off
because
I think it's hysterical.
True.
Yo, it took me 15 years to learn how to parallel park, and I'm good now. Right, Jenna?
I'm a good parker.
Right, Jenna? I'm a good parker now. But don't get it twisted.
Funny, but he's speaking the truth.
But he's a misogynist for saying that.
Why?
No, you can make jokes about us just like we can make jokes about
I could say a man will never stop and ask for directions. He'll rather get lost and drive around for 5 hours, but won't stop and ask for directions. So we could make fun of them too.
It's so funny, right? Like we kind of need to like loosen things up. But
it's gotta stop.
From a perspective, he said something really beautiful the other day, and he goes, an act of rebellion is going to the gym. An act of rebellion is smiling and not being depressed and not being sad. An act of rebellion is having 4+
and not being
kids.
Oppressed. That they want everybody to feel like they're oppressed.
Yeah. So what I love about his message is it's been like, find a good girl. There are plenty of great women out there. Build yourself up. Get strong. And so in listening to that message, I'm over here going, well, this is the kind of man I like. Yeah. This is also like my dad. My father has always been a provider. My dad has built everything with his hands. Like, can do anything, like literally can build and
Isn't
do
that
anything.
amazing?
And he always says, there's always a way. So when we had
you
no
want,
money.
would you want a man that walk all over, or you want a man that you feel like, oh, he's gonna protect me too?
I want a protector, and I want a man who could put me in my place.
There
But
you go.
girls say that, and then they really are like, excuse me, who are you talking to me like this? I'll still probably do that because I'm spicy, but I do want a man that can lead. I want a man that can fucking lead.
the family, right? That's what you want.
Yeah,
and lead
can you handle basic tasks?
Right.
You know, can you do basic things?
Right.
The worst is when guys like don't know how to book flights or don't know how to check their email or don't know how to do like basic technology.
I don't want to be your mommy either. And that's the other thing is that they make women now try to be the man in the relationship, that we have to wind up doing everything because they become so stupid. I don't want to be somebody's mommy.
I've been there.
No.
And you don't.
No.
And it sounds so bad, but it's just like
true.
It's just like I'm not attracted to you anymore because I look at you now as my son.
Right.
You know, because you can't do
it's
basic
like
activities.
It's like
it's all pedo-y, it's
incestual.
incestual, it's fucking gross, and then you don't want to have sex with them,
No,
and then they're
'cause
like,
it's a turn off.
why don't we have sex anymore? And what the relationship is
Because I don't want to have
crumbling.
sex with my son, basically. That's
That's exactly what I said. Of course, like not in those words.
in those words, but that's what you think.
But to my friends, it's exactly what I said. And I was just like, it's just gross. Where is the leadership, you know? And I'm all about men expressing their feelings. Like, I've had men write me letters, book me flights, send me flowers. Like, I love all that shit. I think it's all beautiful.
And every man could be like that. Even the strongest of men, if they're that strong, they're not afraid to show their feelings.
Yeah, they're not afraid to show their feelings, not afraid to show you that they like you. And if a man likes you, he will tell you. He will tell you.
And the strongest of men will do that and be honest. And the strongest of men that I've been around, they show their love for you and for your family and are loyal to you. That's a strong man.
Yes.
And that's a man who can lead a family, and that's what I think everybody deserves.
Agreed.
And I think that your generation does, and I think girls your age now, and because I have 3 daughters, so I would thought that my daughter who was 32, it was over for her. She was never going to find a mate. But you know what? Guess what? She found a guy, Sicilian. His parents live on the other side. He's old school. He's that guy. You know, he's that old school Sicilian.
Can he put together furniture?
He could do anything. The guy just power washed my house for 5 days because his family was coming to my house for brunch. Like, I love this kid.
Oh,
like,
my God.
I love
that
him.
in true Italian fashion.
True Italian fashion.
You power wash the house.
Power wash. He did everything. He's so good. And she found him. And I thought she was no luck. And she found him. But there are men out there. And you know what?
And they're looking for us.
And if she would have listened to her friends, oh, you don't need a guy like that. He's going to be controlling. No, he wants you to be respectful. He doesn't want you to go out with your friends to a club and act stupid.
Let's talk about that.
Or hang out with girls who they know are pigs, and he doesn't want to. So I'm sorry that sounds that I'm being, disrespectful to women. Yeah, some women are pigs, and I'm a woman, and I could say it because I've seen it, and I'm 53 years old, and I've seen it my whole life.
You know, let's talk about that. Let's talk about control and respect.
There's a difference.
Huge difference. And I've been in situations where, you know, my guy at one point followed me to the bathroom towards the end of a relationship, towards the end of our relationship. This is a few years ago. And I come out, and there have been issues, and it was kind of reaching the end. And I'm coming back from the bathroom because, you know, the girls' line is always 20 minutes long. And whatever, do my thing, make friends in the line, come out. And halfway through at the spot, I run into him through, like, a crowd of people. We're, like, all mashed together. And I'm like, hey, are you going to the bathroom too? Like, there's no line for the guys. He's like, oh, no, sweetie, I'm just here looking for you. And my whole body just got this tingly, angsty feeling, and I just was like,
annoying
it was
feeling.
an ick, and it was an icky, annoying feeling, and we could talk about the ick too, because the ick is
ick
the thing.
is bothersome.
The ick is the thing, and it gave me the ick, and on top of other things, because that's never just the one problem, but he was
that's
like,
a plethora of problems that are going to come to light at some point.
And when it did come to light and we did have this conversation, he said to me, you know, I said, what are you so afraid of? That I'm just going to like walk to the bathroom and fall in love with somebody else?
Like,
that's a you problem.
That's right.
Like, I
that's
chose
not a me
you.
problem. That's on you.
You're so beautiful, Sasha. Oh, you're going to blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, no, babe, I'm not, because I love you and I chose you. And even though we may be going through a hard time right now, that doesn't mean I'm just going to walk up to some rando or let some rando walk up to me
and
in the line of the bathroom.
Me.
My cats are at your house. Everything is there. We are a fucking family right now, my G. The fuck you think is gonna happen?
But that's an insecurity, and honestly, men like that, those are men who are sociopaths and narcissists because they know what they would do to somebody. on the one end, and that's how they behave because that's the way they think. That's the way they are.
And then I think you can actually get out of that. So for me, my advice to anyone, any guy who's behaved like that, dating a beautiful woman, it is not for the weak.
No.
Dating a bad bitch is not for the weak.
No.
Everyone's like, oh, I want this girl. Oh, she's so fine. Oh, she does this. You don't necessarily want that.
No.
Like, if you can't handle the amount of attention that they're going to receive on a regular basis, and especially with everything that I do. So I didn't think there was a problem because I was confident in myself and in the relationship, but I think it's something that you can grow out of.
Yes.
And girls do it too.
Yep.
Girls, you date a super fine and y'all get crazy and go through the phone and
I'm
do
not
all that
dating
jazz.
anybody who's prettier than me. I can't. If somebody's looking in the mirror longer than I am during the day, then there's a problem. Like that's, I think that honestly, but
Are you single?
Right. That's complicated right now.
Ooh.
It's a complicated situation right now. Yes.
I need to take a sabbatical.
Yeah, I need
mental
clarity. I need to be in a relationship with myself right now, I think. So
Yeah.
I went through a very horrible marriage. I went through another issue. I mean, I wouldn't say bad relationship. It was complicated, and right now I don't know what's going to happen, but we're trying to work things out. We'll see what happens.
Question. With everything that we've been discussing about relationships, right? We're talking about how we've all been burned.
But those are my two loves of my life. So I'm talking about
Yeah.
Those are the two big ones.
So 2 loves of your life. You've had a couple of failed relationships. You're still going. You've raised your 3 beautiful girls. Everyone is doing well, living life healthy. You've got your business. You've got your show. You're doing it. Do you still believe in marriage? Do you believe that you would get married again?
Right now I'd probably say no, but I wouldn't 100% oppose it. I would say there would be a window of me to get married again.
And do you think that when it comes to getting married again, right, is it more about putting some skin in the game in the relationship with this person, with another love of your life? Is it this ceremony under God? Like, how do you view it? Because I feel like some people are caught up in like, oh gosh, another wedding, another $100,000, $100,000 party for all of us to get dolled up for something that may not be real or is temporary, or, like everyone gets caught up in the wedding and the this and the that. Like, how do you see marriage? Is it more of a spiritual thing? Is it, skin
Well,
in the
I'm
game?
Italian, so we like the big show. So we have to have the big parties and the thing, of course. Do I think it's necessary? I think it's ridiculous, like all the money that people spend on weddings right now. I don't think it's. For me, my daughter's getting married. I'd rather buy her a house than give her an elaborate wedding.
Yeah.
I think it's more important. You want to start your family, you want to do this. But if you want a wedding, I get it, but you're going to have to put some money into the wedding. I don't think it's necessary to have this elaborate. I think that if you're going to start your family and you found your mate, let's start your life.
You want to have some fun. You want to start your life.
Right.
You can throw
Start
a
your
party.
life. Right.
How do you feel about like an intimate ceremony? So you've already been married. You've done this. If you were to get remarried again.
No, I wouldn't have a party. I would go get married on the beach like Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee got married. That's
be
it.
like private.
In my bathing suit with grease all over me. Like that's it.
I love it.
Yeah. Like
I love that.
That's it. My suntan oil, not grease, but my suntan oil, my glasses on with my hair, in my hair. That's the way I would do it.
My dad did not get, excuse me, my father did not get remarried, but he's been with his girlfriend for almost 15 years.
Do you like her?
I love her.
You love her.
I love her.
And how do your
she's
parents
great.
get? Do your parents get along still?
So my parents get along. Yes, they still talk.
That's
They're
good.
still cool. I mean, my dad was there, like, with my mom as my grandfather was passing away. Like my dad was going back
Loves
and forth between
loves your
New York
grandpa.
and Miami. Grandpa on mom's side, because my parents met in Elizabeth, and my mom and dad went to the same high school. My mom was in the same grade as my dad's younger brother. So like all the Cubans know each other. Everybody knew each other. The families were cool. So I was really blessed and really lucky to have both my parents around for, that really important critical age period of your life, everywhere from 0 to 5, and then
and
all
they
the
were
way
still
up.
married while you were.
Yeah, so they were still married, and then around 14, which is like 2008, just before I turned 15, my dad, the market crashed. He had a construction company. Money, finances were a huge, scary topic, and then he ended up moving to Boston and working with his brother and was able to generate income and essentially help the family. But that separation, that was the beginning of the end of my parents' long-distance marriage. Like it's impossible.
It's hard for that with that. But
But are they happy now? And I asked my dad, would you get married again? And his answer has always been no. you know, but
Does he have any other children with the other woman or no?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
And so,
well, you know what, he had his children. That was it.
and
now
she has her kids, and
that's
they've
fine.
found their second life, their second thing. So I think my dad's perception is, why am I going to throw a party when I already have like the house I've worked my whole life for? Like I got my dream house, I got my dream girl, I got everything going. Like, why throw this party? We have parties every week.
Yeah,
you know,
there's no
why
reason.
do this? It would be more of a religious thing, more of a religious ceremony under God. And I think that, like you said before, just circling all the way back, a godless society
is no society.
Right? The nuclear family.
It's the fabric of society.
And I think everyone is kind of coming back to it. And I have been seeing some really, really lovely guys. My mindset has changed, and I'm not on dating apps. I don't
get
do that.
off of those.
Get off the app.
Do it the old-fashioned
Don't do
way.
it.
Meet
Don't
somebody.
do it.
You could meet. You know what? You will meet somebody. You know, when you're not looking, sometimes is when you're gonna meet that person.
Yeah, and I live in Casa Carajo, New Jersey. I live far now. I moved out of the city. I live in the middle of the country. There's no one around me. We got 40 chickens and some goats, and I hear them cockle-doodling every morning. I'm not meeting dudes on the regular. I'm not just out and about meeting men.
But you can meet them through friends. There's other ways to meet people.
But this is how awesome the universe is. Like, the people that I have met and the guys that have asked me out and have gone on dates with are people that I've either met before, who've reached out to me, or you bump into them, or the one day that I am in the city, it's like, oh, hey, I saw you were in town, you know, and then you're like, wow, this is so lovely.
It's not the quantity, it's the quality.
It is.
Remember that.
Quality.
You only need to meet is one. That's good. That's a good one. And you don't have to meet 1,000 people to have that happen. It's just, you're gonna meet somebody and you're gonna know. So that's what you're destined to meet somebody that's gonna fit you at some point.
And the apps are so limiting, girl. The apps are so limiting because, of course, I'm like, okay, what do I stereotypical? You know,
first of all, most of it is a lie anyway. So it's like you're really not meeting the person anyway. It's all bullshit. Let's be honest. And the beginning of a relationship, it takes to 6 months. It's all bullshit. It takes you 6 months to really get to know somebody, because the first 3 or 4 months is bliss and romantic and la la land. And let's be honest, that's not sustainable.
The first 90 days. Can you make it past the first 90 days? Have you heard that statistic?
Yes, that's true. You cannot sustain a passionate relationship. It's a lot of work, because all that work and that effort, it's not. Eventually, you have to build on friendship and on some kind of other foundation. So it can't just be that. Because if it's just that, then it is just that. That's it.
Yeah.
So you have to have some other. So you got to. The first 3 months is bliss, and then after that, you really get to know somebody. And if you don't like them after that time frame, then get rid of them.
Exactly.
And don't waste the time.
Travel with them.
Yes, travel. Listen, traveling will make or break a relationship. I say any man who could go on vacation with me and my 3 girls is a man to stay, and that's what happened with my daughter's fiance. Now, he went on vacation to Florida with us with 52 luggages and ran through the airport with them because we went to the wrong terminal, and he did it, and he was fine with it, and he took it in stride.
Wow, what a champ.
You are a man's. I said, you are in this family just for that alone. Seriously. Dealing with all women, all of us. He walked into this house, but we were so happy to have him because they never had a brother. I always wanted a son.
And you have a leader, right?
Yes.
You're like, okay, everyone went to the wrong terminal.
And he's running
what do
around
we
with
do?
all our
And
luggages.
he's there like, all right, well,
Let's go.
Let's go. We're going to make it happen.
Right.
You know?
We're all fighting, and he's like, all right, let's go. Come on, stop fighting. Let's get onto the plane.
Yeah,
like,
let's just go.
That's why you need a man and they need the balance. It's very important.
It's true.
Right?
It's very true. I firmly believe that.
And you need somebody who's going to support you with your singing, with your career, with your PR career, right? And that's something else that you're interested in. And let me ask you a question before we go. I have to ask you a few more questions before we get any further. I want to know what made you start with the PR, and what has been your favorite company to work with?
So, again, all kind of under the guise of being an artist. Like, I have just been able to partner with different media companies and different people, and they've invited me on red carpets. I've been asked to host different things and, take the mic at the Emmys and interview people and stuff. And again, I make music. That's what I do. But I also have other skills as well. And one of them is public speaking. And I used to be a news anchor in high school for our high school broadcasting show. I've done various acting things, from commercials to being an ambassador spokesperson. I got my degree in communications and public speech at the University of Kansas. So like I love getting on stage.
Amazing.
I love standing up at the podium. I love doing all of it. So it's a lot of fun. And PR has been great to learn about. So I have a lot of fun working alongside other people.
Who was a person that starstruck you when you met?
Starstruck
Like,
me?
like when you met them when they came, and if you ever interviewed, you were like, oh my God, that you were like stuttering.
You know what? I don't get starstruck. I haven't been starstruck. I feel like the one person that like would get me a little starstruck would be like Taylor Swift or someone like on a big,
See,
big,
I would not
big,
give a
big
crap
level.
about Taylor Swift at all. I don't think, maybe it's your generation, but we have some like, I know my generation, like if I met like Clint Eastwood, I would die and fall on the floor. Like that's like to us, for me, that's like a man's man. That's like somebody like, he's like an icon.
I feel
He's
like you won't know right until you see them,
Right.
because I met Drake one time in an elevator and he like kind of like looked at me, whatever, and then my friend was with me and was like, "You just froze. You didn't know what to do." I was like, "That's not true. I literally said hello back. I said like hi, you know," and they're like, "No, it was a delayed reaction." And I was like, "I need video proof. Y'all need to prove this to me, you know." But you don't really know when it's gonna happen. Or
Right.
like when I was a kid, I met Tech9, who was like a massive rapper out of Kansas City, and I think I cried afterward because I was like, "Your first 4 albums, like." Were like the soundtrack of my life at 14, you know, like whatever. It just
And you know
so
what?
funny.
It's so funny that they hate when you go up to them and you like recite the lines of like that they've done in like movies or on series. Like I did that a couple of weeks ago. I did this to Eric Roberts, and one of my favorite movies is Pope of Greenwich Village, and of course I had to go leave. I had to like, Charlie, they took my thumb, Charlie. When I ran up to him, and I'm like, I knew he probably hated it. I don't know why I did it, but I did anyway. But I look at Eric Roberts like, oh my God, his movie is an iconic movie. That is a movie that's like on my top 10 movies. It's like number 2, you know? So it's like he, this brilliant actor that I got into contact with, but it was like, it was cool. I wasn't starstruck. I was just like, I couldn't wait to come run up to him and say the line to him, you know?
right? And I feel the
But,
same
can I
way.
give you a hug, please? I'm like, please, is it okay? I know I don't want to go into your space. I just want to hug you.
It's so sweet. And I think like when people come up to me and like I have a fan club now, which is really,
fan club.
really cool.
I want to be part of your fan
Sasha
club.
Prendes fan club, the
Okay, I'm
Peanuts,
gonna be
because
a
I call
part of
everyone
it.
Peanuts. My cat's name is Peanut, and Peanut is like a term of endearment for me. I call Jenna, she's one of my Peanuts. And I have this cute little fan club that has just been growing.
cute. I love
and
that.
these girls make these accounts about me, and they make edits and they post things, and I send them content, and then they take old stuff that I've done, and
I
take
love
clips
it.
of things, and they're sweet. They make little lyric videos to my songs, and it's fun. And I did a holiday tour last year. Excuse me. And it was really fun signing autographs at the end and taking pictures. And little girls are like, I want to be like you when I grow up. I'm like, you can do it. So I can see how like, yeah, it would get annoying after a while, you know,
Yeah.
if you like couldn't eat your food or you're on business meeting or whatever. But there's also like something to be said about like you wanted to be known.
Right. So
And
now you can't
these
be.
moments, like you were part of an iconic film
Yep.
with a line that lives rent free in people's heads
Right.
forever.
Like,
Like, she just wants to hug you, man.
I just want to hug you and say
He
the line that
knows.
I love, that I've been reciting for the last like 40 years of my life.
And
like,
I can
it's
say
whatever.
that they know.
Yeah,
I
they
think
know.
everyone knows. I think there's like lines that can be
Yes.
crossed, and there's levels of respect and disrespect, but for the most part, I think it's endearing, and I feel like the sentiment is the same, and it's all love.
And we're all humans, right? Listen, we're all born alone, we're all die alone. And the only thing that's certain is death and taxes, and that's the truth in life. That is truth. That's 2 certainties in life, is death and taxes.
Death and
so
taxes.
we all go down into the ground the same way, no matter who we are.
Morbid AF.
But it's true, it's true.
But it's the truth.
It's true. But
But
you
it
know,
is
we
the
don't have
truth.
to be, our life should be happy, but I'm saying like we all come from the same place, that nobody's better than anybody else.
Agreed.
That's the way I mean it. Like,
Agreed.
nobody could say, oh, no, we're all the same. We're all human beings. You know, just because you're famous or you're a great actor or whatever, we still bleed red.
Yeah.
We all bleed red.
Yeah.
You know, you don't
100%.
shit ice cream cones. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Because of who you are.
Or Kim Jong-un, you know,
Right.
he doesn't shit at
Right.
all.
He doesn't. Oh, right.
He doesn't have an asshole.
Best movie. Did you ever watch the interview? Go home and watch it. So funny. So tell everybody where they could find you, and I want to come to one of your shows.
Oh my God, yes. So a couple of big events, actually. Let me just gather my thoughts on the dates. So y'all can find me everywhere music lives under Sasha Prendes. So that's SASHAPRENDES, not a Z. It's Sasha Prendes with an S. Sasha Prendes. You can find me on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, everywhere. And some upcoming shows. I have an event in Brooklyn for an art show, which is my dad's first time displaying his art in New York.
I love that.
In Williamsburg on May 11th.
I want to
So
come.
I'll send you all the details. I'll be posting. So if you guys check out my Instagram, I'll be posting all the events. And then on May 12th, there's also an event in the city, like an immersive fashion and art experience that I'll be performing at. And then in the Hamptons, January, in the Hamptons, June 22nd.
Okay. Oh, you at Vanessa Gordon's party? Yes.
Yes. I'm going to be performing.
I'll probably be there.
Oh my God, yes.
Me and Jeff will be there. Yes. Yes.
So fun.
Yes.
You're coming too? You're coming too?
Yes. He's shaking his head. Of course he is.
It's gonna be a lit brunch.
Yeah.
It's gonna get litty up in the Hamptons. Jenna's coming too.
And it's gonna be a fun day in the Hamptons. I could see it. We have a lot of fun days ahead of us in the Hamptons.
The location is stunning, and it's for a good cause.
Yes, it is. I'm excited.
Talking about mental health and suicide prevention, and just to touch on that, because I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, and I used to fight and compete, and everyone, when you share that information, loves to be like, oh my God, can you show me something? Or are you a singer? Can you sing something? And I'm like, no. And the key is like, it does give me strength and self-esteem and empowerment. And so something that I think is a message that I want to continue to push through my music and through the galas and events that I support by singing at and, promoting is we need to lift up everyone's self-esteem. Girls should be taking jujitsu, not just to avoid being assaulted,
just to protect themselves.
Because when I'm in a gown and heel, even in this outfit, like I am not trying to fight you right now, bro. Like this is not.
No, this is not
what
the time
we want.
or place.
This is not the time. But if I fucking have to,
then I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna fight.
I'm gonna drop kick you.
Because
I hear you, sister.
Damn right. I'm gonna throw hands, and I will take off my heel and I will beat you.
Oh no, I'll be putting Vaseline on my face with all my rings, and I'll be.
But I'm talking on the streets of New York, because unfortunately right now things are not safe. And one of my friends is actually one of the girls who got punched in the face.
Oh my God, that's terrible.
And her video went viral, and everyone's like, oh, it's like a rite of passage in New York. It was not always like that. No, it's not a
rite of passage.
The 70s was one thing, but nowadays,
no.
In the
last 20 years, in the last 25 years, actually, 30 years before De Blasio became mayor, it was safe, it was beautiful, and it was calm, and the crime was low because they let the police do their job. That's what they did.
But now I don't even take the subway.
No, it's dangerous.
You can't.
Well, at least girls, you have to. You could protect yourself.
Right, but again, if I'm going somewhere, right. Makeup on, looking good, white socks. You think I'm trying to fucking fight you?
No.
In my white knee-high socks on the subway.
Please don't get into a fight after we leave.
Please don't test me. I don't want to prove anything. Which is another reason why it is nice to have men around, strong men, loyal men.
Yes.
People who have your back. Nothing worse than being with a group of guys and, you see some crazy homeless crackhead with a knife, trying to come after you, and the guys don't do anything about it. We need to encourage
We need
strength,
strong men.
And women too. Girls, train, learn jujitsu, taekwondo, boxing, learn how to fight, stay active, and be vigilant, because things are changing, times are changing, and we're always going to go through an evolution, and you need good and the bad in order to appreciate all things that are good.
Absolutely. And we advocate for strong men, and start talking to all your women in your age group and your generation, and start making the trends. And
girl,
I know
they're
you
talking.
Can do it. This girl's going to do it.
I feel like I'm behind in the trend.
You're totally going to do it.
I think everyone else is way ahead of the game.
I think you got to bring them all on board for this.
I'll let them know. Ladies.
Advocate it. Stop with these modern day feminists. Let's get rid of them. So it was so wonderful to have you here today. We had such a great conversation. You're wonderful.
Thank
you.
And
I'm coming to your show, and we'll see you on the 22nd.
See you on the 22nd.
Everybody, please watch the episodes on Cats Are Pudding on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and watch the whole thing, not just the shorts. It was a great episode, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day. She's so cute. I love her.
Bye.